happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
Okay, JJ Wang, it is April. It's draft month. Lots of fun things going on. I got to tell you, man, this is a busy, busy month. I was looking at my calendar. I'm home one Saturday all day for the next 2 months. So it's been super busy. How are things down your way at neck of the woods?
Yeah, that's about with me. I mean, soccer starts up, so I referee that. So I'm pretty much a lot of my Saturdays and Sundays are going to be taken up for that over the next few weeks. Plus doing a little high school soccer, plus help coach my daughter's soccer team. So I mean, soccer's pretty much going to turn into like a 7-day week job here. But yeah, it's pretty busy, man.
Well, you're picking out my extras. So I'm busy. My kids are busy. I'm like a great Uber driver. But I got some cool things as we get started here. I got a package this week. If anybody's watching online, I have a flag from Fantasy Turf War, who we both played for this year. I did my Men's Alliance Ministry, and JJ Wang played for the Couriers. And I've done the podcast with that. I just showed a flag. I got some patches and some flag from Corey. That flag actually flew in Antarctica. So he flew it down there and he sent it. So I have an official Fantasy Turf War flag from Antarctica. So we've got equipment straight from down there. Sad thing is, I'm going to have to mail the belt back to him sometime soon. I need to take some pictures and hide it. But I also did another thing this week. I got a tattoo. I'll send you a picture, and it's hard to see because of my camera. It is upside down, but I got a Spartan helmet with a sword coming out of it. And if anybody knows me, that's kind of shocking.
All right.
But it was pretty gnarly. I did it Friday night, got it done by one of my favorite band's lead singers called Seventh Day Slumber. He's a legit tat artist on the side as well. So it's not like some dude who just stenciled, but I'm waiting for it to clean up to have a better picture of it because right now it's in that leaky phase. But yeah, we have almost matching arm tattoos now.
Is that the first Rebel thing you've ever done?
That I'm allowed to say. I've got one on my shoulder, but no one ever sees the shoulder tattoo.
I didn't even know that one.
Yeah, so I got an arm tattoo. I went to school and asked permission though, because being a teacher, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna have a tattoo on my forearm. I'm a teacher of little kids. He's like, dude, there are principals that have neck tattoos. I'm not too worried about it. I said, yeah, cool.
When I got my first arm tattoo, I was in the military, and they were not a fan of me getting my tattoo because it's visible when you're wearing your uniform, so they really didn't think it was they got pretty upset that I got it. There's nothing they could do about it. I mean, I wasn't taking it off, but
it was the stinger, man.
Yeah, what is that?
But yeah, I was talking with his name's Joseph Rojas while we were doing it about just the different in culture. If you think of looking at pro athletes in the late 90s, early 2000s even, there were occasionally Dennis Rodman, and then an occasional guy now that had a tat. Now guys are inked up all over. Guys, what? Birdman, yeah, the Birdman. That dude was basically head to toe, but yeah, it's interesting how the culture has changed, the acceptance of within tattoos. Just everybody has a lot of people. He was saying here, somebody came in and was 50% of the country has a tattoo these days. He's like, huh. Somebody said, I think it would be higher. Because I met one girl who's like, yeah, I keep them all, but I keep them where people can't see them. I was like, dude, I paid a lot of money. I want people to, be like, hey, look, that's pretty cool, dude. So yeah, so that's my big boy. We call it a midlife crisis. The hair growing to the back of my head and the ink on my arm, because I'm not getting a Corvette or anything. So
yeah, me neither.
Has anything? What's been the closest midlife crisis thing you've dealt with?
Oh, honestly, I don't think I really had any midlife crisis thing. I don't really want. I'm a pretty lame dude.
You have a ferret, a snake.
Yeah. That's all my daughters. That's all my daughters want. I don't think I've really gotten there yet.
Oh, good. That means you're gonna live longer than me. But we're getting long in the tooth. JJ Wang, and in about 2 months is getting ready to turn over to the next year. I'm 2 months after him. But now today we're going to focus on some young bucks. we mentioned we're 2 weeks away. I'm gonna actually for draft night. I'll be meeting with one of my leagues with Pastor Jacques and kickers are people too. We're gonna meet at the local cigar shop. One of the guys in the league owns the local cigar shop, so we're gonna hang out there and watch the first round of the draft and celebrate last year's league. I've never really done anything on the first night, but I'll send you text and you can read them when you wake up the next day. As we're doing it, but
I get like the first 3 or 4 picks in, but then it's about...
well, the good news is they're making it faster too. Like each year, they're like, dude, it does not take. Like it went from what didn't it used to be like 20 minutes or something. It was ridiculous. It doesn't take that long. It was down to 15. I want to say it might be down to 10. I'll look that up while you're
10.
getting
I
this
think
stuff.
it's like 10 now, but it was 15. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but it seems like they're taking something from baseball's playbook and going, oh, here we go. Time per pick is 8 minutes for the first round. I thought I reduced 7 for the second round, 5 for 3 through 6, and 4 minutes for round 7. So they're pretty much they're like, dude, you don't need 15 minutes to say like I'm taking the guy at number 1. It's traits. I know it's for traits and stuff.
They put so much work into this. They dedicated so much time. They kind of know who they're going to take at a certain pick. If this guy's not there, this guy's not there, or this guy's not there. I mean, they've put enough time that they pretty much they could, as soon as the one guy's done, they could probably go ahead and give their pick in that fast.
But I think the idea of the length is there's someone who might be clamoring like after 1, maybe there's someone within the top more or less 4 that might want to steal the first guy that will be off of the number 1 guy in fantasy football rookie drafts this year. He's going to go 4 or 5 or 7, give or take. And so someone might be like, hey, I'm going to give you the range to move up. So that's what the time I think is for, because I have guys that do that. And like, we have like long rookie drafts, and that's more or less what that time is for. It's like, is somebody going to send me that pick? Or sometimes it is that knucklehead guy who's just dragging their tail or doesn't check their phone. But a lot of times somebody's just sitting there going, okay, who's going to send me picks? And then they get too cocky and no one sends anything, and it's 8 hours later. Seen that too. So today what we got, JJ Wang has been doing some research. He found a mock draft to say more about it. And we're just going to talk through, guys, what we think about these potential landing spots, because these could be it. These could not be it. But next week we'll look more at it as we head right into the draft. But JJ Wang, take it away.
Yeah, more than likely it's probably not going to be it, because there's not a very high percentage of people that usually get these picks right. But yeah, I just went on the NFL.com. A guy named Chad Reuter it's a 5-round mock draft. So I mean, because I really haven't done the research into the rookies that I have in the previous years. So this is going to be kind of my opportunity to kind of maybe invite myself to like some of the younger or some of the lower guys that are going to be drafted in the second, third rounds. So first, of course, you got Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders. That's the right pick, correct?
Yes. I'm not super Mendoza up, and I think it's one of those years where it's like, yes, we have number 1 to get our quarterback, and you have to take it. Like you barring someone, like they say they're not trading out of the pick, they like him. They basically signed Fernando Mendoza Sr. to mentor him. I hope the kid's good. He seems like a great kid, but then again, if you look at the teams get drafting number 1 and number 2, they're going to screw it up. So it's the Raiders and the Jets. So no matter which one of those guys is number 1, they're going to find some way to screw it up. Only 2 teams that could do worse maybe are the Browns and Dolphins, but we'll let them get the first chance at just totally messing this up. I'd love to see Mendoza be good. I'm not super excited. I mean, he is real. If you look at rookie drafts, Mendoza in Superflex isn't number 1. That scares me a bit. I don't think, how often do you have, if it's Superflex, it should be quarterback, and then maybe a running back or receiver. But he's not one. There's basically one guy in front of him we'll talk about in a moment. But if you're the number 1 quarterback being drafted, people should be so excited to go, dude, I don't want anybody else, because it's super freaking flex. And I think the fear is Mendoza threw for 3,500 yards last year, and then in his season with Cal, 3,000 yards, and the season before 1,700 yards. So he doesn't have oodles and oodles of yards. He had the 1 year where Indiana just went ballistic, but everything else, I mean, he had more touchdowns this year by 10 than he had all of his other years combined. So I think that could be some of the fear.
Yeah, I mean, I like Fernando Mendoza. Like I said, he's just not a lock. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
not everybody can be a lock. I mean, it happens, but he's still a quarterback. He's still going number one, so he's going to get all the opportunity in the world. So that's going for him. I mean, I really wasn't expecting too much out of him this year. You know, before they brought in Kirk Cousins, if I had to start him, I'd be highly upset. But I mean, as my third quarterback, I mean, I would definitely be okay
So
with
future
that.
wise, do you see him as a 6 to 10, like in the next 3 years, like 3 years from now? Is he quarterback 6 to 10? Is he quarterback 10 to 15? Or is he 15 to 20? Or 16 to 20, I guess it'd be.
So I
I mean,
would
I don't
put
see
him.
him at one. He can't get at 1 through 6 unless he
No,
runs a
I
ton.
mean, honestly, I don't see him as like a QB one. So
Yeah.
I see him as like a QB two. Now, where do I put him as a QB two? I mean, like right now it would probably be around like the 18 to 20 because you haven't seen a whole lot, and he plays for the Raiders, so you gotta take a little bit of stock in that. But I mean, I think he can be a reliable QB two. I mean, that's my expectations of him. I don't want him to be my QB one. But
Yeah. My brain was 16.
if I got him as my QB two, I'd be happy.
My brain was like, well, maybe 16. Fantasy Pros, we got him sitting at 17 right now for
Yeah.
Dynasty rankings quarterback. So
Yeah, so I mean I think that's right there. I think 17, 18, I think around that general area.
it just scares me a little bit that
Well,
he's just
yeah.
falling like that.
He's a
Like, I
quarterback.
think
I
if,
mean, they're
yeah, he's a quarterback. For crying out loud.
it's supposed to scare you. All right, the second guy is going to pick five. Is Jeremiah Love with New York. I'm not a huge fan of Jeremiah Love going to the Giants. I think he's going to be good wherever he goes. That's not really. I think he'll be a good running back wherever he goes. But as far as for the Giants goes, I mean, it really didn't work with Saquon Barkley. You're still a ways away from making the playoffs. I think you need more of team building. Running back should probably be the last thing you fill your team needs with. But maybe they think they're farther ahead than I think they are. Um, but I mean, like I said, drafting Saquon Barkley didn't get them anywhere. I can't really see Jeremiah Love getting them anywhere. Sucks for Cam Scatterboo owners. Hopefully, he would come back healthy. Tyrone Tracy pretty much shoots all those guys down. But yeah, what do you think of Jeremiah Love in New York?
I think it's a weird selection for a Rooter to make. It. I mean, we'll talk next week about sort of like our dream spots for these guys or what we think could happen from our point of view. But Love going to New York, I don't think they're as terrible maybe as you think there are. Like I think, I mean, they got a nice young quarterback. Neighbors is the real X factor. They're saying he's every time I hear about him, he gets pushed farther back, so that makes them worse in my book. But they're in a very winnable division. I mean, the AFC East is not scaring anybody. They're all kind of like middle of the pack. Like the Eagles took a step back. The uh, the the Commanders. Are we going to get if we get Jaden Daniels like we did 2 years ago? They're the team to beat, and yeah, this is going to be silly. The Cowboys, they're going to win 8 or 9 games, so that's sort of where we are with all those teams. It's a division to take, and maybe it's that running back that you put around a young quarterback. You'll have him, you'll have Scattaboo, two running back system. You got what Detroit had for all those years, what the Saints had for all those years. The two back system has proven very successful, and then when and if one of those get hurt, Tyrone Tracy can come in because he filled in very well at the end of last year when Scattaboo went down. So it's not terrible. I don't see it as the best move for the New York Football Giants, but that being said, it made me think of something I did this week. So I'll ask your opinion real quick. I traded for Ashton Genty.
Okay.
I don't have any Ashton in our league, and I
Okay.
ended up moving Saquon Barkley, who I think is in like his last year of being good, and I threw in a bunch of pieces like Addison and AJ Barner. I paid a little more for Genty, but what are your thoughts? I needed to get rid of some guys on my roster as part of it, but it gave the other guys some players for holes. But what are your thoughts on say Genty versus Saquon in the next like 3 years?
I think over the next year, I think Genty will ultimately be the better the better running back over the next 3 years. I think what you got out of Saquon this year is probably what you're gonna get, and maybe it just starts declining from there. I think Gentry still has a little bit more of a ceiling if the Raiders get better. Raiders gotta get better. So I think that was a good move, getting rid of out of one
Oh,
RB1 to get to another one. But it's a good move, yeah,
I'm trying to keep that trophy right there. Am I
yeah,
pointing to it?
yeah,
It's always
yeah.
backwards on here. So
I
trying to keep the trophy. I like the next pick.
So
Let's do it.
next picks for you, they have Carnell Tate, the wide receiver out of Ohio State, going to the Miami Dolphins. We talked a little bit about him last week. He wasn't the fastest guy, but I mean, they say he's a great route runner and all this. Miami needs a wide receiver clearly. Since you're the Dolphin fan, or do you like this?
He's a receiver from Ohio State. That's all I heard. You said
Yeah.
Ohio State receiver, and I'm all about it. I like him. You go on the site I use, NFLDraftBuzz.com. They have Lemon at first, and he's shorter. He's a 6'2". He's not as tall as Brazel or Boston, but he was taught in wide receiver university. Until further notice, they are spouting out receivers. Some of the how many of the top 10 receivers currently are from Ohio State. So I would love that. I mean, getting him there, it'll give Willis someone to throw to. It'll help them do what they're trying to establish. Is it what they necessarily need? I think so, yes. I mean, in the first round, we're going to take a receiver either here or we'll get a secondary receiver at the end of the first round. That's why we traded Waddle to get younger in that position and pick up extra draft picks. But I like him. I'm all about an Ohio State receiver. And with receivers, unless their job is the spread, like just run as fast as you can, guy down the field, I'm not super worried about speed per se. I mean, a 4.53 isn't overly fast per se, but if you look down the receivers, it's they're all within like what a lot of them are mid four, like 4.4s to like 4.55, give or take. I mean, Jordan Tyson's 4.55 and he's right after him. So I'm not too awful worried because receivers, I'd rather have a big guy who's got that much less run, but has trained under wide receiver you. And I'm excited. I would love that.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't think he
I
makes
don't
it.
think that I don't think he's a bad like I don't yeah I don't think he makes it this far either. But I mean, if he does, I think it's a good pickup for them. They got a receiver that's on his rookie contract. You can kind of build around over the next 4 or 5 years and see if he's going to really be good. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty interesting pick. I like that one. The next pick we going down to number 16 in the Jets, and they've got quarterback Ty Simpson from Alabama. Had the one big year. Alabama. He did pretty. He was okay. I'm not a huge fan of Ty Simpson, but I mean he's a starting quarterback. People are starting to like him more and more as we get closer to the draft. They need a quarterback, so I mean at this point, why not take quarterback? Correct?
This isn't it Dan Orlovsky that's all about Ty Simpson, I believe.
Dan
Like,
Orlovsky is all about Ty Simpson. Yes.
and there's a couple guys like some people are saying he's better than Mendoza, and
Yeah.
I, Mendoza was on a better team. Alabama's not as good as they used to be, but he couldn't get on the field till this year. There's always that. I always say every year, I'm worried about the 1 year quarterback, but I'm worried about all these quarterbacks. And I've seen some guys say they wouldn't be surprised if he went earlier. If somehow Ty Simpson basically, who was the kid out of UCLA that went to the Cardinals that really sucked?
Rosen.
Um, Rosen,
Rosen.
he sort of Josh Rosen himself up that high and just sort of stunk it up kind of deal. Like, what if something weird? I mean, realistically, the only team in the top 10 that would even draft him would be the Browns, and I don't think they're going to draft him. And then you're looking down almost to maybe somebody trying to jump up just to get ahead of the Jets. But I mean, it makes sense for the Jets because they are playing with Geno Smith. But once again, as I said, they're the Jets. So I'm sorry, Ty Simpson, but it's always nice to see someone go from the SEC to the Jets because then they see what it's like to be really terrible. But I'm curious. I will admit that Ty Simpson sitting there in a super flex draft at the end of the first, I'm throwing him on my bench because
Oh, for sure.
once again, I'm at the end of the first, so I'm a better
Yeah.
team, but I'm intrigued by him. I think his draft value will be he's affordable in Superflex. He's almost free in one quarterback that I'd be curious because statistically, except for the touchdowns, he has less yards, but the passing is very similar to Mendoza.
I mean, sure. I mean, at the end of the first round, and he gets drafted in the first round, and you've got a pick at the end of the first round. Sure, absolutely, a starting quarterback, 100%. So yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan,
He
but I mean, he's going to get opportunities. So
he will be a first round pick regardless of the talent because they want that 5th year option. So even
yeah,
if say he doesn't go here, he will go if he doesn't go here, someone's going to get him before the last pick of the first round because they'll want that 5th year of availability for a quarterback.
yeah. So pick 17. I think it looks like they had the Rams trading with the Lions. And they're going to take Omar Cooper Jr. So the Rams are going to take Omar Cooper Jr. out of Indiana. We talked about him a little bit last week. Good wide receiver. Uh, Thoughts of the Rams going wide receiver here?
Uh, can McVay ever have too many receivers? I guess.
No,
Like I
no.
think there's been rumors of them moving on from Adams. I think we mentioned that a few weeks ago, so it would make sense. But to me, it's just crazy that this is who they're drafting. Like I'm
Yeah,
looking at some wide receiver rankings. Like he's skipping over a whole bunch of guys to get there. So that looks like he wants speed. I mean, maybe the kid from Tennessee possibly he could go for the same kind of speed, but he's taller. So it's an interesting pick. He's following the breadcrumbs of winning last year. So that's what I can figure out with him doing it there. So I mean, the kid hasn't had a 1,000 yard season. We talked about him a bit. So it is an intriguing pick, but maybe there's something that he's looking at that we might not get, or maybe there's a
yeah,
way he fits into that Ram system, which getting receivers. I'm scared for Puka in a couple of years because
yeah, yeah,
Stafford has got a year. I mean, I think they take a quarterback later in the draft. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's fine with the wide receiver. I mean, they're kind of all in to win. They'll do whatever they got to
mhm.
do. So I mean, if they want a receiver, they clearly they're doing it for a reason. So at 19, the Carolina Panthers take Kenyon Sadiq, the Oregon tight end. Um, I mean, it's fine. Another weapon for Bryce Young. That's what they need. They drafted, their number one wide receiver, Ted McMillan, last year. And this guy's very athletic. Not all these athletic tight ends kind of hit. So hopefully, this one does. But the way the Panthers played, the way Bryce Young kind of played, gives me kind of, thought of the positive direction this team could go. Are you happy with Carolina going with Sadiq here?
I'll be honest. I'm intrigued by this guy, but it's because of my tight end love. That I'm intrigued by any tight end coming to the league. But an interesting thing to think about another tight end, and I'm pulling up Sadiq's numbers. So like last year, Sadiq. Oh darn! I have too many things up. I'm sorry. Sadiq had 560 yards, 8 touchdowns. The year before, 51 receptions. And then I look at guys that might be in the league today. One tight end who did fairly well in the league had his junior year had 45 receptions, 722 yards, 8 receptions. The year before that, up until that point in his career, he had 153 yards. I'm talking about Travis Kelsey. So Kelsey, arguably he's on the Mount Rushmore or right outside the Mount Rushmore of tight ends historically, is what had very similar stats to Sadiq. So I'm looking at Sadiq's numbers going, oh man, that's not a lot coming in because I've heard a lot of guys, they have him higher. Like I don't think there's no way he's here at 19 in my opinion. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to sneak up here in the top 12, top 10, somewhere in there. I mean, to go. I mean, imagine if he went to Joe Burrow. How money would that be? Have heard, I can hit that stuff next week, but I see, I see three teams in the top 10 that I think he'd be spectacular with, and I think that's where he's going to fall. So I think they would be happy. Sadiq, I mean, if I'm there, if the Panthers there, I would trade anything to get to that spot if Sadiq is sitting there, knowing that number 20 is why the Chiefs didn't draft him in the first 12 picks.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I don't mind this. I mind this pick at all. So the next three picks he's got, for our wide receivers at 22, the Browns go Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. The Eagles go Mikhail Lemon out of USC, and then the Bills go Casey Concepcion. Where did he go to school? Was it Texas something?
Texas A&M. He's A&M,
Texas
right?
A&M. Yeah. Uh,
Yep.
so
Concepcion
Jordan
A&M.
he's got the injury history and going to the Browns. That kind of scares me. Just them two things. Lemon going to the Eagles. It's interesting. He plays in the slot. This could be a sign that maybe they trade AJ Brown. And then Concepcion playing for the Bills. I mean, Concepcion's kind of like a Debo ish type player. He can do receiving, he can run. I mean, he can return. So he do all kinds of different things. He's a pretty big guy too, being in the Bills offense. Am I crazy to think that would be the guy that I would want more than the other two?
And yeah, and I don't think so. I think it's more landing spot. I mean, Makai Lemon, he's useless. They got Dontavian Wicks now in the Eagles, so I don't know what that. They got him for what a sack of potatoes or whatnot, and signed him to 1 year, 12 mil. But I think AJ Brown's toast there. So I think if what they need to look at for their team, to be honest, the Eagles need to get the biggest guy they can get. So having them draft, they got Lemon, right? Or was it Tyson? I've got two screens up.
Yeah, limit.
They took Lemon, so that makes sense. No, that doesn't make sense because he's a shorter guy. I could see them. I think Boston would be a great fit for that location for them because they need that big guy opposite of Devonta Smith. I feel going to the Browns is always going to be a wild card because I said they're one of the four worst teams. So you got Tyson going there. I mean, it makes sense. He's injury prone. He's going to Cleveland. So with the luck of that city, sending him there to get the ball from Shador Sanders or Massage Dude. Um, so that I think it's intriguing that these guys. Do you think realistically that Reuters got anything going on with this? Is supposed to be a receiver draft, and the receivers are falling really late. Do you think
Yeah,
they
but
fall
there's a
this
lot. I
late?
mean,
Now, I
there's a
think Concepcion
lot.
we
So I
like
think
only because we like Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think maybe the depth of the wide receiver maybe the reason that they're dropping so low because you can
Push
get
down.
so many kind of later on. People don't really want to reach for them at at that level. So I mean, I'm not really sure. I mean, I don't know.
That makes sense. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so that
I
was
was
the
just trying to.
first
I was thinking
round.
about that. I was like, they're really low, but that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so that was the first. That was the first round, and then so the first offensive player in the second round they got Denzel Boston, the big wide receiver out of Washington, going to Tennessee. They need wide receiver help. Clearly, they need a lot of help. But this is a a big body that Cam Ward can kind of get the ball to. I'm not really sure if he's going to translate. I mean, like you said, wide receiver, you just really don't know. But if Cam Ward's such a good passer, as he was, said coming out, he's going to need receivers to throw to. So I mean, giving your young quarterback a weapon, I'm okay with that here.
I dig that. I kind of like that pick. With him going to Tennessee, anything for Cam Ward because I'm on the Cam Ward train for some reason, like seeing that way he ended last
Yep.
year and giving him someone to throw to. I mean, I think DK looks like he's going to have a role within that offense. Wandell, but the problem is it's the same as Wandell, so does that push him out? So having more people to throw to would be, I think, pretty spectacular.
So yeah, so the next pick, pick 41, Cincinnati Bengals pick the second best tight end, Eli Stowers, big tight end out of Vanderbilt. Gasecki is still there, correct?
Yeah, but he's been
Or
pretty sucky.
yeah.
So
I was
yeah,
just wondering.
they re-upped him, I think,
Okay,
last year,
that's
I
what I thought.
believe. But
That's what I thought.
but yeah, so I love this pick actually.
Yeah, I mean,
I've heard some guys think that he's better than
yeah, I mean, if he
Sadiq.
could be a part of the Bengals offense, a big tight end, big weapon. They've got the downfield covered. They need a guy that can go underneath. So yeah, I mean, if he could be the starting tight end in this offense, I'd be all about it. So
But yeah, I've heard a lot of like so size is good on the kid. He's I believe I got too many single screens. I've had this problem. He's 6'4", so he's lighter. But he'll put on some NFL bulk. All these guys put on NFL bulk. If we can get him up to like 250, give him a little. He's a little slower than Sadiq, but some guys are saying that the ball skills and everything. He's a more well-rounded player. Is what guys are saying. That's what just I'm hearing from different prognosticators over the way that they want to be brazen and go. I'll take Stowers over Sadiq. So I'll wait to get him versus that, and for him to be with Joe Burrow sounds spectacular.
pick 53. I just found it interesting. Not really interesting, but a wide receiver going to Pittsburgh. So there might be playing time, playing time available. Now, granted, we don't know who the quarterback is. Assuming it's going to
Oh, it's
be
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. But I mean, pretty much. But he likes to play this little game. But are you interested with Steelers drafting wide receivers?
I am, but I'm very interested with the player they chose. It seems like they chose the teeny tiny. They basically chose to draft Devonta Smith with a light weighted vest on him, because they had Zachariah Branch. He's a buck 77 and 5'9". So they drafted a kid who's like, I'm holding my fingers at my forehead. That's how much taller than me he is. I'm a little short dude, which is intriguing. I mean, they got the big guy, but receivers in Pittsburgh recently just don't they don't carry what they used to, back with Antonio Brown. Or I mean, you got Heinz Ward was never super fancy. He was a stellar. He was like Debo before Debo, like that kind of a player for a team. Just that knows like that they would be a similar thing. That's why I don't. Yeah, I never did truly answer your question, but Concepcion, he's going to be a gadget guy. So I don't know if he's more of a Debo, but more maybe a gadget LB because of his style. But it's a Steelers receiver. I'm glad someone else will draft him because I won't probably.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm not. So the last couple of guys for the round, you've got wide receiver. I'm out of Notre Dame. Malachi Fields going to the Bears. That's gonna be a pretty crowded room, so that kind of knocks his value down a little bit. We got the big tight end from Stanford. We talked a little bit the other day. Sam Rouse. She was like 6'6",
Duke Adidas, right?
gigantic dude going to the Broncos. And I think the one I think I might be most interested in so far is Jadarian Price to the Seattle Seahawks. He was the backup to Jeremiah Love, but he could do some work. The Seattle Seahawks got rid of um, the running back. What was his
Kenneth
name?
Walker, third.
Kenny Walker. So and Charbonnet is what do you have? An Achilles or an ACL? He
ACL,
tore
yeah.
ACL at the end of the season. So there might be some opportunity. I think this might be the sneakiest pick so far. What do you think?
It's the pick I fear the most in the draft because I just picked up Charbonnet on like just a total dart throw to see if he could bounce back. I need them to take nobody. The Seahawks have 4 picks in this draft. So I'm banking on that they're going to be like, hey, Emmanuel Wilson is a good fill in for a couple months. And we like Charbs. We're going to basically have Wilson to fill in for those months with our younger running back core. But in my brain of my brains, I'm seeing them take him. Or Washington, I've heard go to them. I've seen them taking a running back, but it depends on what the high brass wants to do. I mean, they are the defending champs, so they have less holes than other people, and this is what they lost. They lost this, and they lost, was it safety or cornerback? I forget what position he played, but they lost some defensive dudes. But they're going to fill holes and goals to get better. And if you lost the Super Bowl MVP who played great down the stretch, then maybe you need to fill that hole. So yeah, I think it's going Denver. They've let me down in tight ends, but that dude could eat me for breakfast. And the Bears getting a receiver, it's like, okay, we want to replace DJ Moore, but I don't know if in this, I don't know. I think they need to wait because they already have 2 guys. They got a 1 and a 2 and a 3. So I mean, their 1 is probably Loveland, and then you can argue which receiver you like better. So they've got 3 good passing targets. I don't know if I agree with Reuter on this spot. Like I think they could get a receiver, but not with pick 60 this high up. And by the way, that kid Jennings Dunker, the offensive guards they have the Rams picking. If you ever look up a cool picture, he looks like he's straight out of Joe Dirt. He's got quite the mullet going on, redhead mullet. It's hilarious, curly hair, redhead mullet. But yeah, the price to I think if the Seahawks take a running back, it messes up Charbonnet, and it makes that guy probably a top 5 rookie pick. Like realistically, you're looking on that team and who's there. Someone he will Clyde Edwards-Helaire himself to. I mean, would you rather have the Seattle Seahawks starting running back, or who was or the Miami Dolphins number 1 receiver, who's a rookie?
Oh yeah.
Sure. So I think it's been, you know what I mean, like that. I think it elevates. It's dynasty, so you should take the receiver, but I mean that it gets this kid maybe top 5 within Reuter's picks here.
Yeah, it's interesting. All right, so I'm going to skip the words of wisdom this week, and that way you can kind of give me a few more picks going on here because we're getting started third round. There are like a couple more guys I'd like to talk about, so we'll try to get through as
Okay.
many as possible. I'll start. I won't pull up every guy that got drafted. I got a couple guys check mark that we can go through. Pick 65, the Arizona Cardinals, Garrett Nussmeier. They're getting picked at the top of the third round. Is that enough to get him for you to draft him in your fantasy draft?
I would pick him up because I like the location with the weapons, and it's worth a shot, especially in superflex. Like I think any quarterback that gets drafted in superflex on a team with an older quarterback, I would be intrigued. I kind of did. That's one like I haven't agreed with most of his picks so far. I like this one for the Cardinals where they are setting, knowing that Brissett's not the future. He had a really good stretch, and that's what Brissett does. He'll start out the first month, throw like for nothing, and then all of a sudden, Newsmeyer is the next Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he could get opportunity. I mean, if they think he can play, I mean, why not give him a chance at at the end of the season when
Where's
you
that?
suck? All right, another four. Go ahead.
Where would that put him in a superflex rookie? Would that move him like early second round, late first round? Because that's a third
I would
round
probably.
quarterback.
I think it would probably be a second round quarterback. I think it'd be interesting between him and this guy. Where do you want to go? So I picked 76. The Steelers select Carson Beck. Interested?
Well, he's the same age as Aaron Rodgers, though. That's the problem.
He's not
I
quite.
mean,
Give me
all
that.
jokes aside, yeah, no, he's not. But I mean, Carson Beck is not a spring chicken. Was he? He'll be 25, almost 26, right?
Yeah, he still
Because
got
he was
another
in
good
college.
7 years though. You can get like 7, 8, 9 years out of that.
I'm trying to pull up his real age. Um, he's only 23, and he'll be playing his
Oh,
year 24 season. It seems like he should be 100 years old because he played so many years in college. But I don't know how to gauge Beck. I mean, is there a reason that he played so many years in college? Is it
he's
because I
like
mean
it.
because he played on a great team in Georgia, and then he looked great. He looked pretty good, like not great. I mean, he came short in Georgia. Looked good in Miami. He turned around the Miami team, and they made that little run. But uh, he doesn't move. I would rather have the Cardinals quarterback than the Steelers quarterback because you hear Steelers quarterback and you're like, here's your job, hand the ball to running back. You're in Pittsburgh. That's what you do. Like Roethlisberger was their best quarterback since Terry Bradshaw, right? And he had a couple of stellar seasons, but the others he was just good. Like he wasn't like people get mad at me for that, but like Roethlisberger is a great quarterback, but he wasn't. He's not that guy you want on your fantasy team necessarily. He's going to win you football games, but he's not going to do that. And
So
I don't know
you
about Beck with that.
so you prefer one good year in college, to like 4 or 5 good years?
72.
I mean, at least he's performed it. Nussmeier had the really good junior season, and then kind of flamed out his senior year. I mean, Carson Beck. I mean, he's been solid. I mean, he's been good, right?
Yeah, I mean he's been good the last 3 years. So two really good years in Georgia, 3,100 yards, 34, almost 3,500 yards, 24, 28 touchdowns, and last year he had his 3,800 yards and 30 touchdowns. So
Yeah.
I just wonder if you play in college that long, is there something, or is it because the NIL is paying you that much? I mean, it comes
Maybe.
down. It could be that. Like, let's be honest here.
I yes, I like Carson Beck. I would pick him. Right next to Nussmeier, maybe before him. I mean, it just kind of depends.
Even in Pittsburgh,
Next,
like for me, Nussmeier, it's the location. To be honest, it's the
okay,
location. It's going to
okay,
Arizona versus Pittsburgh.
okay. This
Switch
next
them.
pick
I
hurts
might.
me. This next pick hurts me the most. Pick 79, the Atlanta Falcons select
Oh,
running back Mike
puke.
Washington Jr. out of Arkansas. I mean, this kind of hurts. I like Tyler Algier. He was playing behind Bijan. I'm glad he got to go somewhere else. But this guy was an athletic freak at the combine. I mean, I really, really like him. But playing behind Bijan, I mean, you're going
He's the last
to.
pick in the second round now because that's the
Yeah.
person that has Bijan. So he just became pick number 24 in your rookie draft because the Bijan owner's like, okay, I don't want to, but I've got to draft him because he's a good running back. But he's behind Bijan. That sucks. Like this dude drafted pretty much what almost anywhere else in the league is going to be a late first, early second. He goes to Atlanta. Forget about it. And then that guy's going to have a great player in 4 years when Bijan gets traded or signed somewhere else for money.
Absolutely. All right. Another pick. Pick 90. The Miami Dolphins select Katron Allen, Penn State running back. We talked about him a little bit last week. He put up some pretty good numbers at Penn State. Are you excited about this pickup, or do you not really worried about running back? Think they should go somewhere else?
I 100% think they should go. I think they should go with receiver. Ollie Gordon's a good bruiser back. You can never have enough running backs, but I think there'll be. You could throw a sandbag back there later in the draft, up to get him. They got him because they're getting A-Chain insurance is what I think Reuter's looking at here. He's going, hey, A-Chain wants to get paid. Let's get Katron Allen on this team. Let's see if he is a serviceable running back because the Dolphins aren't winning anything this year. They're not winning anything next year. Do they want to go into next year paying A-Chain like Brees Hall? I hope so because I like the kid. But if not, let's get a poor man's A-Chain. He's 5'11". I mean, he's slower, but I don't know. That's my only guess as to why he would do that. I would have gotten the other Penn State running back there if you were taking one because he's a little faster. Singleton's a little faster, a little bigger. But I think that's sort of the idea in throwing the running back he likes the best there is they're not winning and they'll trade away at the deadline maybe. I don't know. Nobody's going to trade him at the deadline. But
all right, so this is going to be
the
last guy or two that we'll talk about here. I got Chris Bell, Las Vegas wide receiver out of Louisville, going to the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, this is a pretty big guy. The Raiders need wide receiver help. I think I might be kind of interested in this guy. If Kirk Cousins is going to be starting, he can sling it a little bit. They're going to have to throw it at some point. So, big guy. I mean, are you interested here, or or it's just the Raiders?
I mean, it is just the Raiders, but it's going to give him someone to grow with Mendoza, so he might get to grow, letting the rookies grow together, knowing you've got a core there. I always like that. I like it on paper, but it doesn't seem to work out as much. But to have a quarterback growing with a receiver, I think is a fun, healthy thing that would be cool to see.
Yeah, I would try to get through a little bit more, but my computer's all jacked up. We got to round 4.
Well, here's the interesting one. How about this one? So the Texans taking Brazel's second.
Yeah.
At 106, he has the Texans taking Chris Brazel. To me, that seems like a wasted pick.
Yeah, I don't know if they really need a wide receiver, but I mean, at this point in the draft, I mean, maybe like I said, maybe I think they still need offensive weapons. Maybe they think that's the reason that they're not that their offense isn't as successful. But what's his face has missed games in the past.
I think it's lineman.
Well, yeah, I mean they
got the two rookies from last year. I would take.
Yeah, but I'm sure they'll probably address that earlier in the draft. But I mean, I'd be interested if he goes to Houston.
Yeah. So, well, thank you, JJ Wang. Our wisdom, he said, was sitting there on his draft stuff. The computers are being fun with him this week. Gotta love the computer gods all having fun there, guys. Next week, we are going to look at players and where we think great spots would be for them, round 1 through 2-ish. We'll look at some of the top players and where we would say is our dream spots as we go in. So JJ Wang is going to leave us with a catchphrase, hopefully.
As always, trust yourself and trust the process.